I don't feel that I did anything in my role as U.S. Attorney to either embarrass the administration or the President or warrant removal. I think this was unusual. I'm troubled by it because of the potential chilling effect it has on United States attorneys.
Hi, this is Josh Marshall from TPM Media. It's Tuesday, April 10th, 2007. You were just watching Carol Lam. She's the former U.S. Attorney from San Diego, and she's one of the 7 U.S. attorneys that was fired on December 7th of last year. Now, here at TPM, we've always been particularly focused on Carol Lam because she's the one who is leading the Cunningham investigation. She sent a former member of Congress, Duke Cunningham, to prison. She got a plea agreement from one of his key bribers, Mitchell Wade. Now, also of interest, she's the one, her office conducted the May 2006 raids on CIA headquarters and the home of then CIA Executive Director Dusty Fago. That led to Fago's resignation, and we think it was also related to the resignation of his boss, CIA Director Porter Goss. Now, just before Lam was forced to resign, she handed down indictments of 2 other figures. One was Brent Wilkes, another briber, alleged briber of Duke Cunningham. The other was Dusty Fago, this former number 3 at the CIA. Other people involved in the criminal activity of Duke Cunningham were still left unindicted at the time, and that's always been our point of interest in why Carol Lam was fired. Now, as the U.S. Attorney story has unfolded, it seems that a lot of people in Washington and in the media have accepted the White House's story that Lam's firing had nothing to do with the fact that she was indicting so many Republicans and investigating so many people in the Bush administration, but actually had to do with so-called lax immigration enforcement on the border. Remember, she's a U.S. Attorney from San Diego. Now, I want to go over 3 key reasons why that story just doesn't hold up. So, point number 1, why did the Justice Department make Carol Lam wait months to get approval for her indictments against Cunningham, Wilkes, Fago, etc.? Our reporting suggests that after Lam requested permission for these indictments from the Department of Justice in Washington, D.C., they kept her hanging for months in each case. Now, our reporting suggests this. This information is also included in an upcoming book by Marcus Stern and his colleagues. They're the ones who actually broke the Cunningham story back in 2005. Point number 2, and I think this is in some ways the most devastating point. The people at the Department of Justice and the White House say that they fired Carol Lam because they were dissatisfied with her immigration policy enforcement. The problem is they admit they never raised the issue with her one time. It comes up again and again in emails, but not once did they raise the issue with her. If you have a problem with someone so serious that you're going to fire them once, you would raise the point. But they never did. This is what Carol Lam says. Kyle Sampson admitted it. They never raised the issue with her. And now point number 3, and it's almost as damning as point number 1. The Justice Department officials say that Carol Lam was fired for lax immigration enforcement. But if you look in the emails from the Department of Justice document dumps, there are actually cases where they're discussing using lax immigration enforcement as a cover story, as a rationale for why they're firing these U.S. attorneys. A particular example comes in a November 21st, 2006 email. This is a couple weeks before they actually fired the U.S. attorneys. And a Justice Department official says this in this brainstorming session, quote, "The one common link here is that 3 of them, 3 of the U.S. attorneys, are along the southern border, so you could make the connection that DOJ is unhappy with the immigration prosecution numbers in those districts." This is what it sounds like when you're coming up with a cover story. This really tells us the tale right there. Immigration isn't the reason that Carol Lam was fired. It was a cover story they came up with to get around telling the public the real reason why she was canned. We're convinced that the reason they fired Carol Lam was because of her investigation of Duke Cunningham and all the other people that led to in the expanded investigation. We're covering this story every day at tpmmuckraker.com, so if you want to find out more about Carol Lam and why she was fired, go to tpmmuckraker.com. We're going to go for a quick break and we'll be right back.
Okay, we need a plastic bag.
Yeah, that sounded a lot like a bomb.
All right, here's a bonus segment today. Here's what happens when a reporter tries out the Republican talking points about Nancy Pelosi going to Syria on the wrong foreign policy official.
The Congress is a separate but equal branch.
But why is it appropriate to have Congress and have Democratic leaders pursuing a shadow foreign policy?
They are not, David, they're not pursuing a shadow foreign policy. They're making trips to the region. A Republican group had gone out before her. She had Republicans on her group. Congressmen are supposed to travel to understand better how to spend the taxpayers' money, which is their responsibility. This was a very seasoned group, and the people attacking her in the administration are the same people who were refusing to negotiate with Syria in any way, even though the Baker-Hamilton report proposed it. I think this is simply, pure and simple, domestic politics. What Speaker Pelosi did was completely in long-standing keeping with members of Congress taking foreign trips to difficult areas to learn and to exchange views. I believe it helped the United States, and I think this whole thing has been blown out of proportion by a deliberate ambush plan by the opposition, in this case the Republicans, and frankly exploited by journalists who were just looking for a fake controversy. There is no issue here.
This is Josh Marshall from TPM Media, and we'll see you here again tomorrow.